Okay, so to get started with this, we have the 90mm frame I got off of Amazon. It wasn't very much. This is the top piece that goes on top. It also comes with a little connector for your 1S battery, and also it comes with a variation of nuts and bolts, nylon, metal. Also these little gasket pieces for the smaller motors that actually come with this. And just take that off, speed things along. These are the little 7mm motors that just are stock on here. And the last thing we have for this build is our 8.5mm motors from a Hubsan X4. They're definitely a lot bigger and they have a lot more thrust than the others. I've used them before on another build I put online. So we'll test this, show you that it works. And the nice thing about this is the collars from the wires are the same collar as the stock ones, so you know which one is clockwise or counterclockwise. So the first thing we need to do is remember that this wire is blue and red and it goes clockwise, and the black and white are counterclockwise. So the next thing we got to do is desolder it and put on the new motors. So let's take these motors and pop them right off of here. So let's take and add a bit of solder. Next we'll get these motors on. Let's take our battery here. See what happens. Looks like they all want to go. Now the next thing is to get this board mounted to our 90mm and get the motors put in. So after looking at this board and how the drilled out holes go for mounting this on, I'm going to actually stick this board underneath, and it just lines up better that way. And also it doesn't particularly matter where the board is. That'll put the battery here, and then on top will be the camera. They fit right in real snug. I'm probably going to put a drop of hot glue on them anyways. And I'm just shoving them in here for the moment so they can get out of my way and stop sticking together. Alright, so I'm going to get this lined up as best as possible and try to, where's the antenna? There it is. Try to get it shoved in here, glued in, and on to the next after that. Let's see. Get me a drop of hot glue. Just kind of hold it there for the moment. Okay, so I want to keep the extra wiring on. I know it adds grams to it, but I had trouble with a Eachine H8 copter before, and what happened was the positive is clear out here on the tip, and I wrecked and it pulled this piece completely out, and it actually popped the whole solder, I would say, plate right off the circuit board, and I had nothing to solder to, so the whole thing was junk after that. So I'm going to leave this extra cabling here just in case something like that happens. Now I will say I did mess up a little, which is okay, because that's why we have the little dot of hot glue and nothing is permanent. I just want to get the little nylon screws shoved into those holes first, which won't take long. Split this up, shove it in there. I'm just using these little guys here, little nylon screws. Okay, so let's dab this with hot glue again, just to hold it in place for now, and then we can move on to the next part. We are on there. Now we'll take the little nylon standoffs here, put them in. So this is where we're at, and there isn't much more to it. We just need to get this plate put on the top. I think I need a shorter screw, so I'll use a steel. I wish they had shorter nylon screws, but they don't. I'm just going to finger tighten this for now. The battery will end up going right here, and that puts the weight right in the middle, which I actually like. And then the camera is going to go right there. And I mean, it's a tiny little thing, there isn't much to it, and I think it's going to be awesome to fly. I can't wait to get it out there. Alright, so I'm going to work on getting things a little more permanent. I think I'm going to zip tie these on there with little baby zip ties I have, and put on the camera next. So this is where I'm at so far. I have the little zip ties on there, like I said I was going to do. I have a dot of hot glue in on opposite ends, just to make sure it doesn't wiggle within the zip ties. I just tighten down these bolts. I was worried when I was messing with this, I was worried about the motors scraping and then these wires getting ripped out. So trying not to add too much weight, I thought, why can't I just use tacks? And I can actually just place this on here, glue them, and it'll be a little landing gear. Well, the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is take these sharp ends and pop them off. Make it way easier to mess with, of course. Can't be getting stabbed. So I think I'm going to just hot glue these to right here, and that'll be my landing gear. I doubt they'll last forever, but it's just something added on there for now. So I thought about drilling little holes in here and then putting these nylon standoffs in there as landing gear, but I only have 3 because they're just spares, and I need 4 to do that. So this will just work for now. I doubt it added too much to the weight, but I of course know it's not going to last forever or anything. I'm going to put some hot glue on these motors to keep them there, and then solder the power piece for the camera on there. I'm going to solder it right into these spots here underneath because they're attached to this, and then get the camera mounted. I'm just going to have the battery in here, and it'll be right there in the middle. I'm probably just going to throw a rubber band on it, or just see if it'll stay in there on its own. I don't see why it would come out, but I've been wrong before. I'll just see as I go here. This guy, he's going to go right there. And I'm just going to maybe put a dot of hot glue on here and just hold him there. Just so I can get the wiring right on this. Now this seems, way too long. I probably hardly need any. So let's take this out and work on it. Let's bring this guy back. Plug it in. And we should be able to plug this guy in, plug this guy in. That's funny. It's actually the wrong end. No big deal. I can just take this tip and attach one from another battery. Now after that minor hiccup, let's get back to it. Okay, let's plug this guy into the battery. And this guy down here. You'll see a tiny red light right there. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Other than adding the props, it's finished. I'm just going to have to get something to hold these wires down a little bit. It's not the prettiest thing, but it's going to be a lot of fun to fly. And I'll show you the FPV to this. Now on my handy dandy computer screen here, get this little guy. If I take the cap off, got my little GoPro there. And it's a nice little camera. I just need to record a video to show you guys. So this is the finished product, and it's not the prettiest thing, but that doesn't matter. It's just there to fly. I've got rubber bands kind of holding these wires out of the way, and also holding this camera on at an angle I took a little clip piece and put it there just to make it tilt a little bit. And let's see how much this weighs. And it says 57 grams. Not sure if you can see that. And that is with a 500 milliamp battery. So that's a terrific weight. And let's go take it out for a flight. Now throw your heads up. What? Now throw your heads up. What? Let me see you throw your X up. Never be a steal when the syrup's injected. Let me see you throw your X up. X up, 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 X up. Now throw your X up. I told him that you pop it, you want it. Fresh teeth knocking it, that's all I'm in. We're rearranging your brain's composition in DJ with the voice that we drop in. Yeah, it's super projected upon your neurological screen whenever we wreck it. So we send you into intensive care therapy is still when the syrup's injected. And the case we get it deadly. When you really quick, then issue ready. It's you out of here with machetes.